Hello, I'm Hilary Hahn, and I'm here with
Mark Adamo.
for Sequenza 21. And Mark, you are a composer.
I am.
So how do you define being a composer as a composer?
Oh gosh.
I'm always curious
let's jump right in.
how people look at their work. You know, like a title can be a title, but how do they really relate to that title? In this case, composer.
Well, that's an interesting question. I think, apart from the obvious definition that you're working with music, you are writing music for musicians to perform.
Mm-hmm.
I think in a certain way, what you're trying to do is use the materials of music to make it possible for the performers to sculpt an experience that the audience can share.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and which to me sounds obvious. I don't know how much or little obvious it is, but it's funny that you ask this, because more and more as I work, I find that the thing that helps me make a decision about how to write the piece is much more finding the choreography of it. More and more I feel like all of the important decisions that you make about harmony or about texture or dynamic or style, more and more what makes them definitive for me is how do you find the gesture in time that tells the truth of the story. You know, and I'm using story in a very general way here because I'm principally an opera composer. I've done two. I'm working on my third, but I just finished this orchestral record, part of which, or one piece of which, is from the first big non-vocal piece that I've ever written, which is this concerto for harp and orchestra. And I didn't know whether that would be a hugely different experience.
Yeah.
Writing without, you have a kind of dramatic situation set up because the harp is the protagonist, if you will.
Right.
Yeah, as it is with any concerto.
Right.
If you were doing the Brahms, you're the heroine of that particular story. Do you know? How you're, that's how he's built it.
Mm-hmm.
But in many ways, a melody is a story. You know, the way a group of pitches unfolds or stretches or brings possibilities together and then brings the opposite and works those out. It's a narrative. It's an argument that can convince you even if you don't necessarily define the terms of what the argument is. You know,